Hi, I'm Mason, your local internet moron. Today I just wanted to talk a little bit about music in video games and share some of my experiences and how I feel about some games and their soundtracks with everyone out there, just because I think it's really cool. Video games are such an interesting medium to explore and entertain through, because everyone's experience is a little bit different, and video game music can really make or break some scenes or events that happen throughout games. So again, today I just wanted to share a few of my favorites with you, and hopefully not get copy striked for it. All of the songs throughout the video can be found time-stamped on the video themselves or in the description down below, and will be properly credited to the best of my abilities. So, let's get on into it. Loop Hero is a lovely little roguelike about walking in circles for days on end because some moron decided to not only eat the world, but also everyone's memories of it. All in all, the soundtrack is pretty chill, as your little guy is mostly just walking around and fighting enemies on his own, which is already great, mind you. This soundtrack really goes hand in hand with this old, NES style of graphics with the pixel art, and it's absolutely beautiful. But as you slowly begin to place tiles throughout the level, you'll start to see a lovely little boss bar at the top left begin to fill up. Once this bar is entirely full, the music will cut exactly where it is, and a lovely little sound effect will play as the Lich's Palace spawns in before you. I wonder what song they're gonna play next. Every single boss in this game has its own custom soundtrack, and every single one of them absolutely slaps. I highly recommend that you go and listen to the soundtrack, and if you haven't tried it out already, I also highly recommend the game, as it is a ton of fun, and it's for a pretty low price, honestly. Nintendo is absolutely famous for making fantastic soundtracks. Whether it's Super Mario or Breath of the Wild, there's a lot to appreciate. However, in particular, I want to discuss the Pokémon games. I could make an entire video about the Trainer Red theme and my experiences in those games with that song, because it still gives me goosebumps every single time. Even the modern-day Legends Arceus is full of absolute bangers, and I just made a video about that. Nintendo can really make some fantastic stuff when they put their minds to it, and if you don't believe me, the music in the background playing right now is the Generation 5 Elite Four theme, and you gotta admit it goes pretty hard. Risk of Rain 2 is one of my favorite games of all time, and I absolutely adore it. But if you ever thought to yourself that electro lo-fi beats are a terrible choice for a game where you go around destroying and genociding alien wildlife on a foreign planet, then you are not only a stupid, stinky idiot, you are also wrong. This game has such a chill soundtrack for the gameplay, and it just works. It can definitely get intense when it needs to, but for the most part, I really enjoy listening just to the default theme, Risk of Rain 2. That's the name of the song, Risk of Rain 2, from the game Risk of Rain 2. You know what, just go look it up. The name is confusing. The Binding of Isaac is a game that can provide almost infinite entertainment, with so many characters and enemies and levels and items It is a truly near-endless experience. The game has a very prominent theme of Christianity, and throughout it you will fight everything from angels to demons to even your own parents and the four horsemen of the apocalypse. The soundtrack does a beautiful job of playing directly with these themes, where on one hand you'll have high choirs and trumpets and really gentle drum beats, and on the other hand you will have heavy dark synths and a killer guitar riff. It's really rebellious, and it kind of balances both ways of being very religious and also very against it, which is kind of what the whole game is built around. This game is worth every single penny, and it really never gets old, and the soundtrack is exactly the same. Rimworld is another personal favorite of mine, a game about crash landing on a foreign planet with a few ragtag survivors and trying to make the best of a bad situation. So basically it's like Britain. Building a settlement, fighting off bandits, growing crops, and then watching that settlement burn to the ground can all happen in a single day in Rimworld. The soundtrack for this game uses a lot of synths and chimes, feeling kind of foreign, like an alien planet. And most of the main tracks include guitar and whistling, making it feel like I'm a space cowboy. It is chill as hell, absolutely beautiful, and makes me want to put a piece of straw in my mouth and stare up at a cloudless sky on an alien planet while I milk my giant armored arachnids and build a fusion reactor with my bare hands. Hey guys, the next song that I wanted to talk about is just from this little fun game that I found online called Inscryption. And, you know, it's just a regular old card game. It's a little bit of a roguelike. There's nothing really too special. I would love to tell you all about Inscryption. I really would. In fact, I wrote an entire script about it, like 14 pages long, explaining everything that happens, but I just couldn't record it. Inscryption is one of those games where it gets ruined for you unless you go in entirely blind. And I'll just let you know that this is one of the craziest, coolest, and most interesting and thought-provoking gameplay experiences that I have ever had in my entire life. I am begging you to not look up anything on it and just go buy and play the game, because it is incredible, and its soundtrack matches every single second of that incredible journey. The soundtrack itself is incredible. It is so off-putting and strange, and it works perfectly with the game. The NieR series has been a personal favorite of my close friend group ever since Autonomo was announced, since I believe that 3 of us pre-ordered it and it was awesome. And while Autonomo's soundtrack is absolutely fantastic, I want to particularly focus on Replicant's soundtrack today. Nearly every single song in this game features the lovely Emmy Evans, who absolutely knocks it out of the park with the singing. Honestly, if I could have 5% of her singing talent, I would be the best singer that I know. She is absolutely incredible. All of the lyrics in these songs are also made up of an entirely made up language called Chaos Language, designed specifically for the NieR games, and yet it sounds so close to a real language that you can trick yourself into believing that it absolutely is. The speech patterns and the sounds that are made all replicate other languages so closely. It's honestly incredible. It sounds absolutely fantastic. Every single track is absolutely beautiful, and it suits the game perfectly. Now we're at the end of our list already, and to end us off, I wanted to talk about something very close to me. Even though every single time I boot up League of Legends, I get the sudden desire to taste what the barrel of a 12 gauge tastes like, I still love playing the game and everything else that Riot makes. Riot absolutely blows it out of the park when it comes to every single thing except gameplay. The characters, their stories, and the music of these games are fantastic, and I'm not even talking about Arcane, because that shit slaps. I'm specifically only talking about champion or event themes. My personal playlist is absolutely full of KDA tracks because I have a crippling addiction to female K-pop idols, and every single champion theme feels like it suits them perfectly. Everything from the Fiddlesticks theme, which uses a scream as an instrument, to the Tahm Kench theme that has this rusty guitar in the background, it all feels like it suits them perfectly. Although I believe that one champion theme in particular stands miles ahead of the rest, and you're listening to it now. If you know me personally, then you probably already know what this is. Thank you everyone so much for watching this video, and I am going to leave you on my favorite champion theme, Pantheon, the Unbreakable Spear.